Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. I've got Oren Kaplan, SharingAlpha, on the show with us today. Oren, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
How did you come up with the idea behind SharingAlpha?
Well, I've been involved in the financial industry for about 20 years now. The idea behind SharingAlpha evolved over the years. What I saw is that fund selection is not done in an optimal way. The way fund advisors or financial advisors select the managers will invest the money is based mainly on past performance. That's the traditional way of doing things, and it simply doesn't work. There's a lot of research that shows that basically basing decisions on past performance is not the optimal strategy. It's not just a disclaimer at the bottom of the fact sheet. Actually that's what happens. So you need to think of a different way of selecting active managers, and we basically adopted the way that other industries select products and services nowadays using user-generated rating platforms. So we built a platform where financial advisors can come and rate funds in terms of their future chances of generating alpha. And in order to motivate them to do so, in order to motivate those professionals to rate funds in terms of their future chances, we rank the raters. So once they rate the funds, we can compare the ratings they've assigned with the actual performance of the funds later on. And if there's a match between the two, then they receive a high ranking from us, meaning they have an edge in terms of their fund selection capabilities. So we're actually solving another problem in the market where you can't really identify which financial advisors you should listen to, you should take advice from, because they don't have a proven track record. So in a sense, we are measuring the added value that financial advisors are able to provide to the end investors by ranking them in terms of their fund selection capabilities. I'll just add one more thing about that. We also allow those financial advisors to build a virtual fund of funds on the platform so that they can present their talent in terms of their asset allocation capabilities, which is another thing that they're asked to do for their clients.
Now, what's been the receptivity of the market so far with SharingAlpha?
Yeah, so we're very pleasantly surprised. When I was interviewed about 2.5 years ago when we launched, and the Financial Times were the first one to cover our stories, and they said they labeled us as the trip advisor for investments. I was asked, how many of those financial advisors do you need to be on the platform for it to be, significant enough? And I said the threshold currently in the market, the largest team out there, the Morningstar, which is the largest analyst of funds, has about 100 analysts. So I said, I want to have at least 100, hopefully more, financial advisors, fund analysts, basically rating funds on our behalf. And I'm glad to say that we just crossed 1,700 fund analysts from 65 different countries. So we're very pleasantly surprised with the take-up from the market. There's definitely a need amongst these financial advisors to generate that track record, and the sooner they start building up their track record, obviously the better, so they will be able to exhibit a long-term track record. So that has enabled us to bring not only the early adopters that are into fintech and all that, but to bring in a wider audience of people that said, I should probably come on board because I might find myself in a disadvantage later on, so I should start building up my track record early on, and that's been very helpful in building up this community of professional fund buyers on our platform.
Tell me about your book, Psychofinance.
Well, that was written way back about 15 years ago. I give you a copy, but it's in Hebrew, so I have to learn the language first. I'm not sure that's a great idea. It's about.
I have plenty of people that can decipher it for me.
Okay. And there's plenty of books in English that cover that topic. But 15 years ago, there were less of those books. It was when I graduated from university studying economics. I wasn't asked to take any course in behavioral finance. Actually, that wasn't part of the curriculum. Nowadays, it's a major part of the degree. Historically, the traditional kind of economics was based on people being rational. All the models were based on that. And what I discovered over the years working as a trader is that that's not the case. So I decided to put into to gather all these stories and practices that I found and gather them into a book and explain using the theory written by Professor Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky and the others that explaining the phenomena that I've come across, and I enjoyed it very much, and it helped me develop my career. Having a book and handing it out in different meetings, that's always a good idea.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Oren, thanks for being a guest on the show. Really appreciate you being here. I know that this, what you're doing with SharingAlpha is going to catch on globally much faster than it already has, and it's breaking all the records now. So I want to, again, invite you back on the show. Let's start drilling down into some of these managers, and maybe you'll introduce us to one or two that you think are really deserve to be noted for what their work is all about.
Sure. Thank you for having me on. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.